Welcome back everyone to Roofing Insights. I'm your host Dmitry. In this video we're gonna answer a question. What do salesmen want? I have two handsome sales guys here, Roshay and Levi. They didn't know what they're signing up for today. Pretty much they're walking into my office and I'm like, guys, I want to interview you. I'm actually very curious what these two gentlemen really want. So the reason I wanted to make this video, guys, is very simple. If you're the business owner, please watch it to the end, because as a business owner, we want to understand our employees. We want to understand what they really want. And I think a lot of business owners really overthink their superstars, their needs. Everybody's want to baby their top producers and think that they are, like the business. Like without salespeople, we don't have a business. I don't believe it's true, but salespeople are very important. So guys, thank you so much for agreeing to this, to be on the camera. I know it's not comfort zone for most people. So the first question I have for you guys, how long have you been in sales?
Altogether for me about 5 years.
5 years. Exterior sales, home improvements or something else?
Home improvements, mostly exteriors, yep.
I've been in sales for about 3 years.
How many companies have you guys worked for?
2 for me.
I've worked for 4 different companies.
Have you tried to go on your own, to own your own business?
I thought about it, but then as working with a couple different businesses, I see the overhead, I see everything that's involved with it, and there's just too much involved. I don't want to deal with all that. So I'd rather just come to work, do my job, and get paid.
I did that. I started out doing that.
Oh, you actually work for yourself?
Yeah, I owned my own company for 4 years. And I liked it. It was good, but I became a workaholic. And right now I just want simple. I have a bunch of kids. I just want to spend time with my family.
Here's the guy who has more kids than I do. It rarely happens. He has 6 kids, I have 5.
That's right.
I don't know how you guys do it.
Well, I could show you.
Well, I don't mean that way. I mean, how are you there all the time when you're working? It's got to be a lot on your plate.
It's hard. Life changes, yep.
I bet.
What happened to your business?
I decided I was going to take a couple years off of doing it and moved out into the country and bought our dream house and some land and just took it easy for a couple years. It just slowly went away. I still have a little bit of a customer base, but
you would rather sell for someone else?
Absolutely.
Why would anyone work for someone instead of working for yourself? Like you have it both ways. Like what's behind it? Because most people think that your opportunity is way bigger working for yourself, and I would strongly disagree myself. I actually had opportunity like 2 years ago, and I was really considering go work for someone else to sell or keep doing what I'm doing. And I stick to it, but I don't blame people who made the switch.
Well, there's more opportunity for more money when you own your own business, but there's also more risk. There's more stress. You're sticking your neck out. I had a few jobs go bad. It cost me a lot of money. I had a lot of jobs go great, made a lot of money.
We have one today that it's like the worst job of the year.
I was hearing about that earlier.
Yeah, tell me about bad jobs.
Oh, we just had a customer where her foundation was cracked, and somehow she was able to blame that on us for doing her roof and gutters. And, I was able to turn it into insurance, and they paid for it, but just stupid stuff.
Well, what I noticed too is whenever you fix something on someone's house, they always notice something else that's broke. I had one lady, we did her siding, and she said we broke her microwave. I mean, seriously. So we broke her, I'm like, that's not even affiliated with it. So I know exactly what you're talking about. It's crazy.
So my next question is actually about work-life balance and running late appointments. I know in sales you almost have to run late appointments. How hard it is, and you're a father of 6, how hard it is to keep work-life balance when you're in sales and you have to go and meet customers at 8 p.m. to sign a contract sometimes.
That is something I need to figure out, because I'm horrible with balance. I'm either working 16 hours or taking the day off. It's one of the two. I have a hard time finding balance. That's what I'm going to try to work on, actually.
Well, for me, if I have to go to the person's house, it's fine because I know I'm getting commission out of it. Or nowadays with modern technology, I can scan it and send it to them. They can email it back to me. So you have those options as well.
But what about appointments? If customer wants to see you like the certain time?
Well, you can talk to Pam. I don't ever turn down appointments. If they're at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, whatever, I don't turn them down, because if I turn down that appointment, I'm leaving the door open for someone else to get it. So I don't ever turn nothing down.
But how does it affect your personal life? Like,
it affects a lot.
What does your girlfriend think about
Well, it affects, for instance, this last Sunday, I had an adjustment meeting at 9 o'clock. We go to church on Sundays at 9 o'clock. And this is 2 Sundays in a row I've had adjust meetings, and she was pissed because I missed church. And I told her, I said, well, wintertime's coming. I have plenty of time to go to church. You have to separate, what's your priority? If I don't go to work, I don't make money, there's no food on the table. So I always put that first, my top priority. Sometimes it affects my relationship, but at the end of the day, she understands.
When it's busy like it has been these last few months,
You gotta take advantage of it.
It's a real opportunity. I figure work it while it's good. There's always going to be downtime. Take advantage of it while you can.
Because wintertime.
So you already partially answered it, but I still gonna ask this question. What do you usually answer when your spouse complains about you being on the phone 24/7, like late at night or whatever? Like, I know I have that problem with everybody, like even my kids, my teenage kids now, they start complaining like, you're on the phone all the time. What do you answer?
Well, I usually tell her, I said, do you want to drive a Ford or do you want to drive a Mercedes? That's normally what I tell her.
What did you say?
Do you want to drive a Ford or Mercedes? She says, I already have a Mercedes. So it doesn't work all the time.
I just say, hey, it's the season. I got to do it now. About another month, it'll be too cold. Things will slow down.
Well, and what I notice too is they complain you're never around. Then wintertime comes and you're not working, they complain, aren't you going to go do something today? So it goes both ways. It really does.
Isn't it something? What do you absolutely hate in a sales position? 1 or 2 things that you absolutely hated about sales job.
Gutter repair leads. Drives me nuts.
Yeah. The thing I hate is when you try to help somebody out, and it doesn't happen all the time, and you give them a little bit, they always want more. Not all customers, but I've given some customers maybe upgrade them to soffit vents, and now all of a sudden they want this, they want this, they want to upgrade to class 4 shingle, and it just never stops. That's the one thing I can't stand.
It used to bother me when I have somebody tell me they're going with me and we're going to do the work, and then for some reason they sign with somebody else. But I'm numb to all that now. I mean, they're going to pick who they're going to pick. I do the best I can. And
what about the process, like working for the companies? I know a lot of sales guys don't like paperwork. I know some guys don't like
I don't care for
long
paperwork.
drives
I don't care for paperwork, but I'm getting good at it. I used to get yelled at a lot from the manager, but now I got it down pat. It's just one of those things.
How did you change that? Like what changed? Like, because I know a lot of sales guys, they resist. They like, I'm here to sell. I'm not here to do work. Or
well, it's part of the job. If I want to work here, I got to do paperwork. So I just sucked it up, figured it out, got it all done. Plus, we have all the tools. We have all the apps and everything we need to make it easier. And if I do have a question, I can always call someone and ask them. So it's not rocket science. It's just you got to stop being lazy. You sell the job, you got to do the paperwork for the job, turn it on to production. So if everyone does their job, everything runs smooth.
Yeah, I don't like doing work orders because right now I can get a signed contract and a down payment in half the time it takes me to complete a work order. So yeah, I don't like it, but I would assume that I'll get better at it.
One thing about Levi here is when he joined us, he was absolutely killer when it comes to company cam and pictures. He was taking more pictures than any other sales rep. What's behind that? Taking so many pictures. I think on average you would do like 100 plus per project.
The last company I was working for was one of the largest companies in the U.S. Did a lot of commercial roofing, and they couldn't compete as far as retail work. We couldn't close any retail jobs, rarely. It was only for insurance proceeds, and they were very strict on their pictures. And I was in the residential part, so I felt as if I was at the bottom of the totem pole. So I wanted to make sure that the person in the other state who was writing up the estimates to send to the insurance had everything they needed, make it as easy and as fast for them to do it as they could. So I got in the habit of that. And plus, the last sales manager I had working for that company was awesome. And he showed me some good techniques for a systematic way of taking pictures so that everything can be supplemented properly.
Do you
with
start
the
on the
insurance.
left side and work your way around? That's all I was taught. Front, left, rear, right.
No, that's way off.
That's way off.
I'm just kidding.
I was taught wrong. And that's what they told
I'm
me.
learning to take less pictures here,
Right.
just the more accurate pictures.
Would you rather sell really big elephant jobs, like let's say once a month, or sell smaller tickets daily?
I would rather do smaller tickets daily.
Big. Just, 100K up. I'd love that.
But
I like that.
what if bigger jobs comes with obviously it's not stable because you never know where a paycheck's coming in. What if there's a slight risk of making less money, less work, but less money doing bigger tickets?
I come from the world of risk. I've been a business owner most of my life, multiple businesses. I like the big risk, personally.
Sure.
Is that the wisest route? No. Obviously, a combination of both is the most secure way to move forward in this position.
But I see a lot of sales guys, they get their brain on the big items and they have hard time to go to that gutter repair appointment later because they set their brain on like that 100K job, and now this $3,000 repair doesn't mean much to them anymore. So I see it, but as a business owner, we want it all, but as a sales rep, I understand the frustration too.
Well, and having a bad attitude towards small jobs is a mistake because you never know who they know.
Exactly.
They all know somebody.
Good attitude.
Well, not only that, but you could go to a gutter job and you could turn it into a roof job.
Yeah, and that roof job could turn into a condo.
Exactly. You could go for
that has 20 other condos connected to it.
Exactly, and then you find that, hey, you got a leak in your roof.
Okay, being your boss, this is a tricky question, but how important are sales commissions for you?
Extremely important. That's where you make all your money.
Well, how important is it for it to be like the highest pay? Like, for example, if somebody comes in right now and offers you, 2% more, higher, like how important is it? Like, is it a deal breaker to get, obviously, like, let's say I'm getting paid $25 an hour and I work for a great company. Somebody comes in and offers me $28 an hour. Is hourly rate, is that important? Is like, I guess, is it a deal breaker for you to have the highest paid commission at the time? Because I see a lot of guys, the reason I'm asking this question, I see a lot of sales guys jumping from company to company. I've seen guys would change 5-6 companies in like 2 years. And the reason is because business owners, it's a bidding war for the sales guy. Like, oh, I like this guy, I offer him 15%, and the next one comes in, I'll offer him 20%, or I do split with these terms, I do split with that. And then we're doing bidding wars for the sales guys. And for me, sales guys with that mentality, like, I don't want them. But how is it important for you?
Well, first of all, money's not everything, but it does rank right up there with air. But no,
Well, that's a good way to put it.
You need it. Right?
Can't live without it.
But personally, close rates are more important to me than the percentage. I'd rather make 8% of $1 million than 12% of 300,000.
I come from this too. The other place I was working for, I got a higher commission, but his system wasn't like yours. It was a one-man show, so it would take me forever to get jobs done. I wouldn't do my own estimates. Nothing ran smoothly. So to take a commission cut, to get my own leads, where I don't have to even knock on doors, to have a production guy, have a manager, where everything runs smoothly, it's a no-brainer. It's well worth it because I'm getting more leads before I had to knock on doors myself. So
right.
versus saying here's some leads, it's way better.
How important are leads for sales guys?
Huge. And this is the only company I've ever worked for that has this flow of leads. It's incredible. And not only a high volume of leads.
But you still hate gutter repair leads.
I got to be honest with you. That's a weakness. I'm not perfect. I know you thought I was perfect.
No. It's totally fine. But see, here's how I look at the gutter repair leads. Gutter repair leads is you're still looking at the roof every single time. You're still looking at 5 other things.
And now you're going in the attics and look at the attic insulation.
Exactly. So for me, it's just opportunity to see the house, just like you would knock at a house.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Well, here's how I look at leads. Somebody calls you and wants an appointment. Your closing rate is obviously going to be higher than if you're knocking on someone's door that 30 people already knocked on their doors.
Yeah.
It's
no matter what the work is, as a salesman, is all we could ask for is a foot in the door and somebody in front of us to hear us. Mm-hmm. That's all I could ask for.
My next question is about culture. I hate culture as a word now because it's used so much. Mm-hmm. Every person on the Facebook, every coach there is like culture, build a culture. But I agree that culture is important, but business owners talks about it, sales coaches talk about it, there's a lot of trainers talk about it. How is it important for salespeople, culture? Do you really care about culture? Just honestly.
Culture, you mean like the company culture?
Company culture.
Absolutely. It's important to me because the reason I'm able to be confident and have high close rates is I know the culture of the company backing me.
Well, for me, culture is what you do inside the business and outside the business. For me, like to go with you guys to the gym, that's part of the culture. To do when we have hobbies, and it can be different, like we can be hunters, we can be whatever, But the thing is, when you come to work and you enjoy being there, like I want to be in my own business. I want to come in and I want to see people, not like that guy is a jerk, that guy cannot stand him, that guy is a crook. For me, that's the culture. That's why number one reason I hire people during the first interview, not based on their resume or sales. Like my number one question always been like, would I buy from this person? Because I know if I would buy from you, I want to see you daily. But if you have $3 million a year sales last year, but I cannot stand you even during the interview because you have that attitude, you have that, you know, quirkiness in you, I know I'm not going to be able to see you every day, and that's going to kill my culture.
The last company I worked for, we had a rock star there, and I couldn't stand the guy. Like every time I saw him, I wanted to punch him in the face. He just was one of those guys. I went out door knocking one day, and he was there, and he's like, "This is my area. You can't door knock here." And I'm like, "This is America. I can knock any door I want." So right off the bat, I didn't like that company. I come here, everybody's welcoming, everybody's awesome here. I love coming here. I love coming here every day. When you go into a work environment and you're negative and you don't want to be there, it's not healthy for anybody. If you come to a work environment and like we go to the gym together, I mean, it's awesome. It just feels like one big family. And it's just, you know, everyone's got their ways back. If this guy has more sales than me or I have more sales than you, it doesn't matter. We're on the same team. We're not coming in and saying, "Hey, man, I closed 5 leads this week. What'd you get?" It doesn't matter because we're on the same team.
What tips would you give to a brand new sales rep? Like if somebody walks in the door here or anywhere for any other company, give a couple tips, somebody just joining sales.
Be careful what you talk about. Like when you're talking to someone, don't talk about politics. Just be careful on certain things you talk about because people get really touchy on certain subjects. Be very welcoming. Just, you know, be yourself. Don't be nervous. And you have to act like you know what you're talking about. Know your technical terms. Know if you go to someone's house and you're trying some roof and they ask you about valley metal and you're like, "I don't know what that is," you're done. Just know what you're talking about. Be confident. Confidence sells.
You gotta have belief.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe you're the best guy for the job, I don't care what you say, they're gonna know it.
Mm-hmm.
Words don't matter. It comes in here. Why would they choose you over somebody else? You better figure that out and you better believe it. Most of my customers are older than me. You can't try to convince them to do anything. You can't tell them something that's not true. They're gonna know everything. They're gonna know. They've been around longer than me. Shoot people straight. Always look somebody in the eye and be honest and just have belief.
Thank you so much, guys. So you've heard it here first. If you're the business owner, listen to your sales guys. Sometimes you will be surprised what they really want. It's not always money. It's not always trucks. It's not always bonuses. Sometimes it's simpler things. Comment below what you think. If you're the salesperson, comment below what you want. What did we miss today? See you guys in the next video.